There are a lot of vehicles that end up being a laughingstock, and the M247 Sergeant York is one of the more famous examples. It was an experimental American anti-air platform, and everyone thinks it was a complete failure that almost killed people during testing. Of course, like with most stories, there's some fact and some fiction. My goal is to sort out what is true and what isn't, and the best way to do that is to start from the beginning. In the 1970s, American armored doctrine was rapidly evolving, with newer vehicles being created around one main thought: quick and hard-hitting counterattacks. One area was identified as severely underdeveloped, and that was short-range air defense, also known as SHORAD. The Army's then current gun SHORAD system, the M163 VADS, lacked both firepower and a proper fire control system. To remedy this, the Army proposed a requirement for a new SHORAD vehicle in 1974, and in 1977 began accepting proposals from multiple contractors. The requirement specified the use of the M48A5 chassis, as well as a caliber of 30 to 40 millimeters. Proposals from Ford, Raytheon, General Dynamics, General Electric, and SPAA were received. Raytheon's proposal, the most economical, was to essentially place the turret of a Gepard onto the M48A5 hull. General Electric, looking to capitalize on the success of their Gawait 30mm cannon, the same one used on the A10, proposed the creation of a brand new turret housing it. SPAA's design also used a rotary cannon, though now 35mm instead of 30. General Dynamics proposed a design using the same guns as the Gepard, but in a brand new turret. Ford's design used two 40mm Bofors cannons, a modified version of the F-16's radar system, and proximity ammunition. The General Dynamics and Ford proposals were accepted for the next stage, which consisted of head-to-head trials using pilot vehicles. These trials had mock engagements against both helicopters and fixed-wing aircraft, during which the vehicle could either be stationary or on the move. The Ford system, designated XM247, was chosen as the winner in 1981. It would be named in honor of Sergeant York, who received the Medal of Honor during World War I. With the contract secured, Ford set up a DIVAD headquarters in California, along with three main subcontractors. AAI Corporation would construct the turret, Bofors obviously supplied the guns, and Westinghouse would supply the radar systems. In theory, the entire engagement process was automated. One of the benefits of using the F-16's radar system was it could automatically interrogate IFF tags. Once the target was detected, interrogated, evaluated, and ranged, all the gunner had to do was pull the trigger. Against aircraft, the York could fire two types of ammo: proximity and pre-fragmenting. As the program progressed, it wasn't long before issues started to pop up, primarily with the radar system. Ground interference often made it so the York could not find or track targets, even relatively easy ones, like hovering helicopters. The system designed to ignore countermeasures did anything but that, and when the guns were elevated, they also confused the radar system. When the system did work, it was perhaps a bit too sensitive. There's a story that goes like this. During testing, a York locked onto and obliterated a portable latrine. This isn't entirely true. The York did lock onto the latrine's fan, thinking it was a helicopter's rotor, but it obviously did not fire, since final engagement authority was given to the crew. There's also a separate story which says the York locked onto a crowd of observers during a demonstration, sending them running when the turret slewed around. This story and the latrine story may be one and the same, at least according to an Army magazine, which says that the latrines were located next to the observation stands. The York also had a number of other issues, including ammunition jams and turret hydraulic leaks. During mock operations, it was found that when the system did work, it worked pretty well, but it was nowhere close to meeting its requirements. This fact, coupled with budgetary constraints and media pressure, ultimately killed the program. A lot of the issues probably could have been fixed, but it would have cost a lot more time and money, which the Treasury was not willing to give up. One issue that couldn't have been fixed, and what I think is arguably the program's biggest failing, is that the York could not keep up with the vehicles it was supposed to support. It probably wasn't a great idea to use an aircraft's radar for ground work either. While it definitely deserves a ton of criticism, there may be some things it didn't deserve. For example, in 1985, the New York Times complained its proximity ammunition was useless against tanks, and according to Army officials, its 6-kilometer engagement range requirement was completely unrealistic. In the end, the York was killed by two root issues. For one, it was an accelerated development program, so it was incredibly rushed, and given too much leeway in terms of its performance. Second, the parties overseeing its development had too much of a hands-off approach, completely missing issues that had been evident since the program's inception. Anyway, that's pretty much all there is to say on it. I hope that cleared some things up, and if not, I at least hope you learned something. As always, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you on the next one.